everyone, welcome to Gratituesday. My name is Raina and I am a recovery coach here at Capital Recovery Center. Today we are going to talk about the Serenity prayer and how it incorporates into recovery. So this article comes from unashamedrecovery.com, and if you're interested, they have a lot of really great blogs on different aspects of recovery. So it says that the Serenity prayer is a powerful tool for those seeking recovery from addiction. This prayer has become synonymous with 12-step recovery programs, and for good reason. It embodies a key concept of the recovery process: accepting the things we cannot change and finding the courage to change the things we can. In this blog, we will explore the Serenity prayer and how it plays an essential role in 12-step recovery. So the Serenity prayer is a prayer that asks for serenity, courage, and wisdom. And the prayer goes like this: God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And this is typically done after a moment of silence. You have a chance to reflect, take notice of where you are. We talk about mindfulness with Gratituesday, and that's part of that mindfulness. It's just taking that moment to kind of like silence your mind, come in and be able to think more clearly. So it goes on to say that the Serenity prayer has its roots in Christianity, but it has become a staple of many 12-step programs, including Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, and others. This prayer has helped countless people find peace and serenity in their lives and overcome their addictions. One of the fundamental principles of 12-step recovery, accepting that we are powerless over our addiction. And this is very powerful statement, because it's a powerful statement to be powerless, because a lot of times we think of powerlessness as like a weakness, and it's not. It's just knowing that, we cannot control our addiction. So this concept can be challenging for many people to come to terms with. However, the Serenity prayer helps us to understand that there are things we cannot change. We cannot change the past, and we cannot change our addiction. Accepting this fact is the first step in recovery. And you got to think about the fact that, we try all the time to control things, control our using, control our lives, control the people around us, control outcomes, creating expectations and just different things that accumulate in our addiction. And even in recovery, it's a big learning curve to learn how to not try and control everything. So, being able to accept the fact that we are in control and that we cannot change the past or our addiction is a really big step in recovery, because once we have that acceptance, it opens up so many doors of how to recover and grow. So the prayer also emphasizes the importance of courage. Recovery requires us to face our fears, overcome our doubts, and take action. It takes courage to admit we have a problem and to seek help. This is very true. For most part, we don't like asking for help, right? Because we've either been, hurt because of that, or, we have all these trust issues, and we're very solitary people when we're in addiction. A lot of us isolate. So we think that we can handle everything and we can do it all by ourselves, and trying to understand that this is something that we do not have to do alone. And honestly, we probably cannot do alone. It's a big step. And it takes courage to admit that. It takes courage to ask for help. So it takes courage to confront the issues that led us to addiction and to make changes in our lives. Again, to be able to look at where we were and what we were doing and, confront those issues takes so much courage, because there are so many things, like for me in my past, there are so many things that I didn't want to look at because they either were painful for me or painful for someone else, or, feeling ashamed. So being able to confront those things takes a lot of courage. So the Serenity prayer reminds us that we can find the courage we need within ourselves and through the support of our higher power. And we can. I have seen so many people come into recovery scared, feeling like, they just can't go forward, or they're not going to be able to, deal with their issues without using drugs. And then to see them do that is just so moving. Like, I love watching people grow in recovery, because, coming in and feeling hopeless and questioning if, we can even do it, and then thriving is just an amazing thing. It's a miracle to watch somebody thrive in recovery. So the final part of the prayer speaks to the importance of wisdom. In recovery, we need to be able to discern that what we can and cannot change. We need to be able to make good decisions and act in our best interest. And let's be honest, we weren't great decision makers. You know what I mean? Our best decisions got us to where we are now. So, we have to learn how to make better decisions. Wisdom comes from experience, but it also comes from seeking guidance and support from others who have been through the same struggles. And this is true. This is where your network comes in, or your support system comes in. This is where a sponsor comes in, a mentor. It could be someone in your church, like a pastor, just, someone who is there for you, someone that has been through what you've been through, so they can help guide you and show you that there is hope, that, things can change. The Serenity Prayer encourages us to seek the wisdom we need to make the right choices in our lives. This takes time. We have based every decision in our lives on using, how much money we're going to need. Am I going to be able to eat today? I'm going to need money for this or that, or I'm going to have to do this to be able to get that money. Like, that's all our decision making was about. So now we have to come in the recovery and make major life decisions without using. So, and those things take time. And this is why it's important to have somebody who has the experience and who has been through certain things, so that they can guide you and, to ask, like, whether it be, I want to buy a new car. Okay. Say that's, what you want to do. You have limited funds, you want to this because it's flashy or that, but, this is more reliable, but I don't like, you know what I mean? And a lot of times, like, we're going to buy the flashy car because we're still looking for things. So running these kinds of decisions past someone who has been through it, they'll be able to give you, like, the responsible decision, or help you, get to that decision on your own, so might throw out that, is this something that's in your budget? How far do you have to drive? Is it really important what color it is? Just all these little things that we might not think of and we want to jump headfirst into. Having enough wisdom ourselves to realize that, I might need help with this decision, and then seeking someone who has the wisdom to help. So the Serenity Prayer is not just a prayer, it is a mindset. It is a way of approaching life that can help us overcome our addiction and find peace and serenity. It reminds us that we are not alone and that we can find the strength we need to face our challenges. Listen, I probably whisper this prayer to myself at least once a day, and sometimes more, because sometimes I'll be faced with something and I'll want to, react instead of respond. So I kind of whisper it to myself just to calm myself, so I can, take a look at the situation, use my wisdom of things that I have been through and my courage to, approach things the correct way. So it's something that can help you in so many different avenues. The role of serenity in recovery cannot be overstated. Serenity is a state of peace and calmness that we can achieve through acceptance, surrender, and trust. Serenity is essential because addiction is a disease of the mind, body, and spirit. It affects our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. It causes us to be anxious, restless, and discontented. Serenity is the opposite of these negative emotions. It allows us to be present in the moment, to be grateful for what we have, and to find joy in the simple things in life. So true. Finding peace of mind in recovery is such an amazing thing. I've had people ask me so many questions over the years about, recovery. And, I've told my story countless times. And the one question that I got asked that really left like an impact on my life was, are you happy? And I kind of stopped for a minute, had to think about it. And I was like, you know what? Yeah. I don't think in my entire life I've been able to just be like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I have peace of mind today. I have like acceptance today. I'm able to trust people. I'm able to, seek within myself and to a higher power to find answers for things, and to, continue to keep that like peace and serenity in my life. So if you feel like, there's just no way that you're going to be able to like have a calm mindset, or, overcome the anxiety or any of the things you're dealing with, you can. It takes practice, it takes work, it takes time, but it is absolutely 100% possible. So Serenity also helps us to develop a positive attitude towards life. When we are calm and at peace, we are more likely to have a positive outlook. The positive attitude helps us to overcome the challenges we face in recovery. It helps us to stay focused on our goals, to be patient with ourselves and others, and to open new experiences and opportunities. And a big part of having that positive attitude and that calm and being at peace is knowing that we are powerless. We cannot control anything except the way we react. And when we realize that, it's a lot easier to accept the things that are going on around us. It's easier to accept someone where they are. Because some people, you're going to run into people that are angry and, sad and confrontational, just so many different things. And how you react to those situations is really based on what you have going on the inside. Now, if I'm angry or upset or sad about something, and I'm like in a situation that starts to feel confrontational, I might have a tendency to lash out instead of, trying to figure out how to resolve the issue. And having that positive attitude towards things makes it a lot easier. So, I talk about this a lot. When we're in active addiction, everything is negative. Everything is like self-pity and, like being ashamed of who we are and what we're doing, and just all this darkness. So in recovery, to come in and try and flip that switch for a more positive outlook is something, again, that takes practice. We talk about it a lot. Looking at a situation where we automatically want to go to the negative, but taking the time to like step back and finding a gratitude or that sense of powerlessness to say, you know what, I got this going on. This is great. I don't need the negativity, and again, it takes time, it takes practice, but it is possible. So this positive attitude helps us to overcome challenges we face in recovery. It helps us stay focused on our goals, to be patient with ourselves and others, and to be open to new experiences and opportunities. And it's very important to keep that open-mindedness. Because if we keep off that closed mind, we're never going to be able to open up and accept change. And change is something that is going to continue to happen whether we get on board or not. So the best thing to do is keep an open mind, open yourself to things that you haven't before. Because like I said, like our best thinking and the lives that we're living are what, we're battling against. So if you're open to new ideas and you have some patience to sit down and listen and talk with others, it's going to open up this whole new world to you. And it's amazing how, just being a little open-minded to something different can impact your life. So one of the key benefits of Serenity in recovery is that it allows us to let go of our need for control. Addiction is often fueled by a desire to control our lives and our emotions. We try to control our pain, our anxiety, and our fears through the use of drugs or alcohol. However, this control is an illusion. We cannot control our addiction, and the more we try to control it, the more it controls us. Let me read that again. We cannot control our addiction, and the more we try to control it, the more it controls us. So true. We've tried putting down one drug and trying another. We've tried limiting our use. We've tried different avenues to minimize our use, and it always comes back to the control it has over us. When I would get up in the morning and be dope sick, that would be the first moment in the day where the drug has control over me. Because now it's going to dictate my entire day. It's going to dictate what I do, how I get money, how I get more drugs, how I use the drugs, how often I use the drugs, just by waking up with that knot in my body. So, having that serenity and realizing that we cannot control anything goes such a long way in our recovery. We've been, thinking that we can control everything. And I've done this more in my life than just in my using, you know what I mean? Like controlling how my house runs or controlling my kids or, controlling what goes on at work. I really don't have control over most of this. I have control over how I react to things and what I do in response to things. So where we go. Serenity allows us to surrender control and trust in a higher power. This surrender is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength. It takes courage to admit that we cannot control everything in our lives and that we need help. Surrendering control allows us to tap into a source of strength and guidance that is greater than ourselves. It allows us to find sense of purpose and meaning in our lives that is not based on material possessions and external achievements. That's the goal. It's not about what I can get, how much money I can make, how many pairs of shoes I can buy, how nice of a car I drive. All those things are lovely. However, if you are not okay inside, all of that stuff means nothing. You're still going to be driving around in a nice car with darkness inside of you and anger and hurt and frustration and shame. And I don't care how nice that car is, it's not going to fix that. All these temporary things that we want to give ourselves or buy or do are not going to have long-term effects on how we feel inside and how we grow. It's so much better to be able to wake up in the morning and, be okay with who we are, where we are. So having the courage to admit that, okay, I need help. I am out of control. It's so important in finding peace of mind. So another important aspect of serenity and recovery is the ability to forgive ourselves and other addicts. This is very hard, and I feel it's hardest when we're trying to forgive ourselves. I find I tend to forgive others a lot more easily than I was able to forgive myself for certain things. Addiction often causes us to carry around a lot of guilt and shame. We may feel guilty for the harm we have caused others, or we may feel ashamed of our own behavior. I still to this day look back and think to myself, I can't believe I did that. But I can look at it now knowing that I have made progress to never do it again, that I have made change so I don't continue to cause harm like I did in my addiction. Serenity allows us to let go of these negative emotions and to forgive ourselves and others. Forgiveness is a powerful tool in recovery because it frees us from the burden of our past mistakes and allows us to move forward in a positive direction. We know holding on to the past makes it impossible to move forward. I know you probably heard like the saying a lot, like there's a reason that the rear view mirror is little and the windshield is big, because what's behind you is of little importance. Where you're going is what matters. And we want to set our sights on something bigger than where we came from. So it's all about that constant moving forward. And if we don't forgive ourselves, if we don't accept the past, we're not going to be able to move forward and be able to continue to grow. In 12-step recovery, serenity is often achieved through prayer and meditation. Prayer and meditation allows us to connect with a higher power and to quiet our minds. They help us to focus on the present moment and to let go of the worries and fears that can consume us. Prayer and meditation can be practiced in many different ways, and each person may find a technique that works best for them. There's no one way to do prayer and meditation. You can, do the classic prayer like a lot of people do. You can do, just like a quiet moment to yourself. Like meditation, again, there's like the classic form of meditation that most of us think of, and then there's like alternate forms of meditation. It's all about finding what works best for you, what's going to help you the most, because that's what's important. It's not how someone else does it or trying to imitate how others are doing it, because what they're doing might not work for you, and that's okay. Whatever works best for you is most important. Because we have to have that moment to quiet our mind and to be able to like just decompress and clear our head, and to be open to whatever the day has to bring us. Serenity is not something that can be achieved overnight. It is a process that requires patience, persistence, and practice. It takes time to develop the skills and mindset necessary to achieve serenity in recovery. However, the benefits of serenity are well worth the effort. They absolutely are. And like anything, like I said, it takes time. We all, we want it and we want it now, but it doesn't work that way. The old saying, like, good things come to those who wait, like, take the time to do it right, to grow, to find things out there that work for you, and to find your own sense of peace. The Serenity Prayer and the concept of serenity play a crucial role in 12-step recovery. The prayer helps us to accept the things we cannot change, find the courage to change the things we can, and seek wisdom to know the difference. Serenity is essential because it allows us to find peace and calmness in our lives, develop a positive attitude towards life, surrender control, and forgive ourselves and others. Achieving serenity and recovery is not easy, but it is possible. Through prayer, meditation, and the support of others, we can find the serenity we need to overcome our addiction and live a fulfilling life in recovery. So with that, I want to thank you for joining us today. And as always, please come in and see us, join us in our meetings online. We love to have you, and have a great day.